Nice launch trajectory countdown net. Pad is clear.
10, 9, 8.
Launch auto sequence has started.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Go for launch.
Vehicle is supersonic.
Stage separation confirmed. Dragon, separation confirmed.
Stage 1 is transonic. Landing legs have deployed. And Falcon 9 has landed.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ronnie Foreman, and I'm a commercial sales manager here at SpaceX. I'll be your host for today's Starlink mission, which marks SpaceX's 15th launch of the year, 214th overall mission to date, and second launch just this month. And today we are sending another 51 Starlink satellites to orbit. As a reminder, Starlink is a high-speed, low-latency broadband internet service. And today we have a couple of updates that help bring us closer to connecting more people around the world. SpaceX is teaming up with Salt, a leading European telecommunications provider based in Switzerland, to provide continuous connection to customers in the country by leveraging Starlink. This partnership allows Salt to provide direct satellite-to-cellular service across Switzerland, including areas that were previously difficult to connect along the Swiss terrain. In other Starlink news, you may remember that we launched 21 of our V2 mini Starlink satellites for the first time on Monday. Following deployment, which you can see on your screen now, our team successfully made contact with all 21 satellites, deployed all solar arrays on each spacecraft, and completed initial checkouts. These satellites are now headed to their parking orbit. Definitely a huge win for all the teams here at SpaceX.
Engines are shutting in for flight.
In broader SpaceX news, you may know that we also successfully launched Crew 6 earlier this week, marking our 9th human spaceflight mission to date. NASA astronauts Stephen Bowen and Woody Hoburg, along with United Arab Emirates astronaut Sultan Al-Niyadi and Roscosmos cosmonaut Andrei Fedyayev, docked at the International Space Station just a few hours ago, around 10 p.m. Pacific time, and were welcomed aboard the space station by the Expedition 68 crew, which includes Crew 5. If you're interested in following Crew 6's journey on the floating space laboratory, feel free to check out NASA and SpaceX's Twitter, or nasa.gov. With all the exciting updates and launches, the beginning of the year has flown by. And as we enter the month of March, we want to take a moment to recognize and celebrate the transition into International Women's History Month. This month, we hope you all take some time to celebrate the groundbreaking achievements made by women throughout history. Here at SpaceX, we've been lucky enough to witness and help some amazing women make history within the aerospace industry and pave the way for future generations of female engineers, scientists, and astronauts. Most recently, Crew 5 NASA astronaut Nicole Mann became the first female commander of Dragon and the first Native American woman in space. And last April, Crew 4 NASA astronaut Jessica Watkins became the first Black woman on a long-duration mission aboard the International Space Station. We hope to be able to add on to this list in the years to come and want to sincerely thank all of the women at SpaceX for making the impossible happen every day. Now back to the mission at hand. Although we've been having some heavy rain here on the West Coast, the weather is looking great for today's launch. The range is also ready to support, and we're proceeding with a T0 time of 10:38 a.m. Pacific time from Vandenberg Space Force Base at Pad 4 East. The teams are currently tracking no issues with the vehicle or spacecraft. We should see strong back retract and the clamp arms opening up here shortly. And the next milestone we'll be looking for is at about T-3 minutes when we hear that stage 1 has completed liquid oxygen loading. And on your screen now, you can see those clamp arms have begun to pull away from the vehicle. On your screen, you just saw the strongback pull away from Falcon 9. This is a critical piece of launch hardware because not only is it being used to support Falcon 9 now, it's also the piece of hardware that we used to roll the rocket out to the launch pad earlier today. Just before liftoff, the strongback will fully recline away from the vehicle so that Falcon 9 can clear the launch pad.
Stage 1 lock load complete.
At just under T minutes, the Falcon 9...
Countdown net 1, the range is...
At just under T-minus 3 minutes, the Falcon 9 first stage is fully loaded with RP-1, or Rocket Propellant 1, and liquid oxygen. So now we're awaiting completion of LOX load on the second stage, just about 40 seconds from now. Beautiful views of the Pacific Ocean behind Falcon 9 at the launch site. And those wispy clouds you see forming around Falcon 9 are nothing to worry about. Those are just gases above the LOX tank venting off of the rocket. The booster you see on your screen is flying for the 12th time today, having previously supported Crew 1 and 2.
Stage 2 LOX load complete.
There's the call out now that Falcon 9 is fully loaded with 1 million
Gas
pounds
mask
of
up.
fuel and liquid oxygen. Other missions this booster has supported are Sirius XM-8, CRS-23, IXB, Transporters 4 and 5, Globalstar FM-15, ISI Aero C3, and 2 previous Starlink missions.
Falcon 9 is in startup.
We just heard that Falcon 9 is now on its own internal power.
LD is go for launch.
As you just heard, our launch director has given the final go to proceed for launch. So let's sit back and watch as Falcon 9 takes our 51 Starlink satellites into space.
T-minus 30 seconds. Seconds. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Engines full power and liftoff of Starlink. Go Falcon, go Starlink.
Vehicles pitching downrange.
At T plus 30 seconds, Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Vandenberg Space Launch Complex 4 East at 10:38 a.m. Pacific Time.
Power and telemetry nominal.
Falcon is supersonic.
With that call out, we've heard that Falcon 9 is traveling faster than the speed of sound.
Max Q.
You just heard the call out from Max Q. This means that the vehicle is currently experiencing the greatest amount of external stresses as it ascends through the Earth's atmosphere. Now we're just over a minute away from a series of events that are going to take place back to back. These are going to be main engine cutoff, or MECO, stage separation, second engine start 1, and fairing separation. During MECO, all 9 of the Merlin 1D engines on board the first stage booster will shut down. Then stage separation is when the first and second stages of Falcon 9 separate. Second engine start 1, or SES1 for short, is where we light the Merlin vacuum engine on the second stage for the first time. And fairing separation is when the 2 fairing halves separate and fall away from the second stage before making their way back to Earth. Keep an eye out for these events happening in quick succession and listen closely for the callouts on the nets.
Eco?
Stage separation confirmed.
And ignition.
Fairing separation confirmed.
So there back to back, you heard MECO, stage sep, SES1, and fairing separation all confirmed. We will be attempting to recover both fairing halves again today using our recovery vessel NRC Quest. Both of the fairing halves flying on today's mission have already been to space before, one half flying for the 5th time and the other for its 2nd. Just as a reminder, on the left-hand side of your screen is Falcon 9's first stage, making its way back to Earth, and on the right is the second stage, carrying our 51 Starlink satellites. Reusability is the key to our success here at SpaceX because it allows us to reuse the most expensive parts of the rocket multiple times, driving down the cost of access to space. Currently, the first stage is on its way back to Earth towards our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, stationed in the Pacific Ocean. The MVAC engine attached to the second stage is continuing its burn, which gives it that great orange color that you're seeing on your screen, and this burn should last another several minutes. Great views of the Earth in the background behind MVAC on your screen. Again, that's on the right-hand side, and stage 1 is on the left. As I mentioned earlier today, today's Starlink mission marks SpaceX's 214th mission overall and 15th mission just this year.
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
You just heard that stage 1 and stage 2 are both following nominal trajectories, which means they're headed in the right direction. As a reminder, Starlink is a satellite internet constellation designed and manufactured by SpaceX to provide high-speed, low-latency internet to people living in remote and rural locations around the globe. The telemetry readouts in the bottom corners of the screen give you insight into stage 1's telemetry and stage 2's telemetry. On the right-hand side of your screen, you see MVAC on its way to space, and on the left-hand side, stage 1 is returning to Earth. The next major milestone we're coming up on is Stage 1 entry burn startup, which will be the first of 2 entry burns that the booster gives.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There's the call out for the Stage 1 entry burn. Stage 1, which I've also been calling the booster, has ignited engines 1, 5, and 9 to slow it down for atmospheric reentry.
Both vehicles are following nominal trajectories.
The first stage being used to launch our 51 Starlink satellites into space
Stage 1
today
entry burn shutdown.
is flying for the 12th time. You've also just heard the call out that the entry burn on board the first stage has been completed.
Stage 1 FTS has saved. Stage 2 FTS has saved.
Stage 1 transonic.
That call out that the first stage is transonic means the booster is now traveling near the speed of sound.
Stage 2 terminal guidance.
Stage 1 landing burn.
And there's confirmation that the Stage 1 landing burn has started in preparation for touchdown on our drone ship. Of course, I still love you.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy.
And exit.
Stage 1 landing confirmed.
As I'm sure you just heard and saw, Falcon 9 has
Nominal orbit
successfully
insertion.
landed on our drone ship, Of Course I Still Love You, in the Pacific Ocean. This marks our 176th overall landing of an orbital class rocket, including Falcon 9 and Falcon Heavy missions. You may have also heard those callouts in the background that we've had successful second engine cutoff and nominal orbital insertion. With the confirmation of successful first stage landing and second engine cutoff, that will wrap up our coverage for today. Be sure to check out our social media for confirmation of Starlink satellite deployment. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.